SimTheWorld here. This is a video talking about potential updates with Car Mechanic Simulator 2021. I've had so many responses on my other videos asking about multiplayer, wanting to see this in the new title. So after doing some digging and investigating, I've got some answers for you guys. It may or may not be what you want to hear, but let's discuss. So I'm sure you're like me, where Facebook is not really a place you go to often. However, the developers, Red Dot Games, they did post about multiplayer in this car mechanic simulator genre games, and let's see what they have to say. So in November they posted, some of you have been asking about multiplayer in Car Mechanic Simulator. We want to tell you that back in the day we tried to implement it. When making online polls on what to add to the game, most of you asked for more content like cars, engines, new garage features, and that we had delivered. After release, we were constantly making bug fixes, adding stuff, new features. There's been a lot of patch releases. In the meantime, we are testing multiplayer implementation into the game, but we are not happy with the results. It would take all game to rewrite from scratch to accomplish it. We wouldn't sign under that implementation, so we had to stop working on it and focus our work on solo game experience. We just want to clear that out, so if there's any future questions, now you have the answer. So this tells me a couple things, and let's discuss. So first off, most importantly, they talk about Car Mechanic Simulator, and they reference that game specifically, like as the genre, not one specific title of the game. I know a lot of what they've talked about as far as adding content, cars, garage features. That was all the issues we kind of saw with the 2018 release, where not everything came out at once as we expected. There's a lot of missing features, things that didn't work right. There's also a lot of bugs when it first released. And it took probably, 4 or 5 months before the full game was out as we had anticipated on release day. But that was alright, because they went through, they corrected what they needed to. This isn't what the video is about. The video, I think, is about the multiplayer aspect. Now, we've seen, if you watched our Diesel Brothers truck building simulator series, that game actually is built to where you can have up to 4 players building these trucks at the same time. From a developer standpoint, they went ahead and they were focused on, from the get-go, building the game and building the architecture of the code in such a way that that was possible. And I can completely see how to take a full rewrite of the game to get multiplayer in. And let's just be honest. How many hours, what percentage of hours of Car Mechanic Simulator gameplay out of the total played for a game, how much of that would actually be in multiplayer? I'd have to believe 5% of the time you'd be building a car with a buddy in a garage, and the rest of the time you'd be focusing on your own jobs in your own garage. So for time spent, I think they have it right. Would it be a nice feature to have where you could have the option to build a car with a friend? Sure. Everyone would enjoy that. But should that time, be spent building that instead of focusing on other aspects of the game? And that is where I agree with their judgment call. I think it's a wise one. Everyone will get some gameplay out of everything they've developed, whereas for a lot of people, you might not ever touch multiplayer. So this video is really to kind of get that answer out there. I know Facebook probably isn't a good place to see some of these things. It's not a media source that a lot of us use, especially, I know a lot of people are getting away from Facebook, so I want to get this video to you guys. There's so many comments, so many people looking for this game. And to be clear, I don't think by getting rid of multiplayer, I don't think that necessarily dismisses the idea of other ideas, like why not have an online aspect to the game? I think it'd be much easier to add an online marketplace where you can buy and sell cars or have a little online auction house of users' cars Because already your cars are, it's just an array of values. That's how they store it. So if you push those up to an online database and have some, nice screen to, I'm using the Car Trader Simulator menu to kind of visualize this idea. Obviously, they create their own kind of window, but you have a window of users' cars you get to pick. You can see the different values, you can see different images that they take of it, and you can bid on them. And I think something like that is completely within the realms of possibility. I mean, hell, you could probably add that on as a patch for 2018 if you really wanted to. But my hope is that they focus and move in that direction where there's some online interaction within the community, less so than perhaps, just building together in the garage. But hopefully this is helpful for you guys. Hopefully this gets the answer out. I know so many of you guys want the multiplayer, but when it comes to what they focus their time, I think you'd agree to. You'd want it in the content of the cars, the customizability of them, getting to be able to paint all the individual parts, things like that. That we want to see much more than just being able to build together. If you guys have any other questions, anything else you want to see in the new titles, maybe I'll be able to go track down some more info. Be sure to let me know down in the comments below. Otherwise, thanks for watching as I simulate my life one game at a time. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to hit subscribe so you don't miss any of the future action. You can follow on Twitter for updates to future games being played, as well as follow on Twitch as I occasionally stream live. Thanks, and I'll see you next time at SimTheWorld.